Yo, what is going on, everybody? Isaac Mashman here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is the first time I'm producing any sort of content that's video format aside from an occasional Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter story. And I'm honestly very, very excited because this video marks the beginning of something great, something that has been months in the making and something that has taken me literally years to finally figure out. And a couple months ago, I wanted to record a similar video, but I didn't have the same clarity that I do today. Over the past couple of months, obviously 2020 has been a wild roller coaster of a year for all of us with everything going on around us in society. It's been an election year. We have a bunch of other things that haven't necessarily worked out in any of the ways that I think any of us have anticipated. And I don't want to say that that's okay, but how we are responding is what really, really matters. And I have to say that some of these things have actually been more of a blessing to me than I could have ever anticipated, because it's got me to the point where I am right now. And I'm not speaking in terms of success, I'm not speaking in terms of monetary, financial gain, but rather just personal growth and understanding and maturity for myself. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you've seen me go through my entrepreneurial journey. I went from going and wanting to, do drop shipping way back in 2017, 2018. I wanted to go ahead and start up a clothing line. I got involved with network marketing. I got out of network marketing. I got back into network marketing. I got out of it. And I've transferred and done so many different businesses in the past 36 months. Actually, it hasn't even been a full 36 months that I've been on this journey, and I'm blessed and grateful for that fact, simply because it's like life has been moving so quickly. And that quickness and that speed is a blessing, because that is what I want. Obviously patience is very, very important, but I think that if I have the ability to achieve success and I can enjoy the journey at the same time, then why not enjoy life while also being successful? And that is my entire, philosophy when it comes to the rate in which I'm moving. I don't want to go slow, I want to go fast. And so what I'm going to be discussing in this video is kind of the next stages of my brand, the next stages of my company, and really just setting up the future of my content. Now, I've been doing Chase the Vision with Isaac Mashman, the podcast, since June of 2019. It was originally called something entirely different. If you want to learn that old name, go ahead and listen to the trailer on that podcast. But, guys, I changed the name of the podcast and the direction of that back in, I believe it was April of 2020, so earlier this year. And I changed that direction to move away from that stereotypical online entrepreneur space and rather into the overall self-improvement, self-development space for everybody. And I'm not doing that in a cliche way. I'm not doing that trying to become a motivational speaker, because that's the last thing I want you to perceive me as. But I did it as someone who has the attitude of, yo, you can do this no matter where you are from, no matter what you want to achieve, no matter what career or what niche you want to move into. I realize that business people and entrepreneurs are not the only people that have visions to pursue or achieve. Rather, everybody has that vision, which is the overall concept of my show. The purpose of my show is to share my life experiences, to share my knowledge in business, sales, life, relationships, friendships, and give you guys that knowledge and that piece of me so you can make better choices in your own life. Ultimately, at the center of all success is personal growth. That is why some people will get the same results year after year after year, and that is the same reason why people will have massive success in a very short amount of time, simply because they have spent a lot of time growing themselves and then taking massive action. And that is what I am here to set the example for. So aside from changing my podcast and producing content, I have made some massive changes in the past 8 months. It hasn't even been a full 8 months. Back in April, I launched my company officially, legally, registered it, and actually moved into the small portion of people online who have a legitimate business. Now, filing for paperwork and getting an LLC it's cool. It adds a sense of official achievement, but at the same time, if you register your company and don't do anything for your company, it doesn't really matter, and it would be more so something that just drives ego. But I started up Mashman Ventures after a lot of trial and error, and I started up April 17th, 2020, and prior to that, I was managing, my good friend Diggy Dirk, who was an artist. I managed him for, roughly 6 months, half a year. I wanted to do a record label. I did a video way back then talking about my record label, and I thought that that was the one thing that I really wanted to do. I was like, I could do a record label. I love music. I would have the opportunity to work with so many amazing people and travel and go to concerts, and it would also help me with my own brand. And I didn't realize what all that entailed. And then at the same fact, although it was, somewhat of a passion, but not an actual firm, concrete, deep-rooted passion, there really wasn't a lot of money to be involved without a long-term commitment. Like, I would have to spend a lot of time building myself up. And then I was like, okay, well, I could also do that while also working with artists to build up their own brands. But at the same time, I'm narrowing myself down. I'm putting myself into a little bit of a box. And I've spoken about this on occasion over the past couple of months on my podcast. If you've been listening to Chase the Vision with Isaac Mashman, if you have, fantastic. If you have not, that's okay. There is time for you to go ahead and check it out now just by going to my website, literally, isaacmashman.com/podcast. You're able to find all the episodes. You're able to find all of the links. But I talk about how, I don't want to be one of those people who niches down into just one specific field and that's the only thing I do. I've never wanted to be put in a box. I've never wanted to be put into a career. And that is the very reason why I got started with business in the first place. I wanted to use business as my therapy and as my, basically the way that I could solve all of my issues, because I would have the self-control. I would have the ability to be my own boss, work from wherever I want to work. And that's all true. But at the same time, the past couple of years have been filled with challenges, and for the first time ever, I have that clarity on how to move forward, and I also am radiating this energy of confidence in what I'm offering, because I know that there are more people than ever that need what I want, or need the services that I have, and that is personal branding. Guys, I have been building up my own brand before I even knew what my brand was about. And obviously your personal brand is always you, no matter what. It is your name. It is your personality. It's, the things that make you unique. That is your personal brand. And I was building that up. I was spending a lot of time doing research. I was, going on Twitter, networking with a bunch of people when I was still in the, multi-level marketing space. I was growing my Instagram. I was just doing a whole bunch of different things. And, looking back, it was super unprofessional. It was super chaotic. And I don't regret any of that, because it taught me, I learned by action. I learned by actually getting my hands dirty and figuring things out. I wasn't afraid to, be criticized. I remember my first podcast episode that I ever recorded. It was 4 minutes long, 4 minutes. I hated it. Hated the sound of my voice. I used to change and edit my podcast episodes for every single breath, for every single for every single thing that I did not like. And if I never published those episodes, and if I let that hate of my own, the sound of my own voice and that self-conscious nature prevent me from actually uploading all those episodes, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's not some crazy position. It's just simply the position of growth. The first live stream I ever went on Twitter, I was outside shaking. I was sweating. My knees were literally shaking because of how uncomfortable I felt. And if I could give you a piece of value really quick in between these announcements and in between, setting up the stage for what's to come, it's to don't let those, tiny things in your mind, those tiny little voices that say, don't do this, I'm afraid of what mom and dad will think, I'm afraid of what, Uncle Jack will think, any of those different things. Don't let them and their opinion affect you taking action and you doing the things that you know deep down that you should be doing. Because if you listen to the opinions of all these other people who technically don't even have the results that you want in life, you're going to be getting the same exact results those very people have. And, just a little word of wisdom. I've been very cocky in the sense of not listening to opinions of most of the people around me. And some people have confronted me about that. And if I could tell you very simply, it's because you don't have the results I want in the area that you're giving me advice on. And because of that, I'm not going to listen to you. And I don't mean that in a hateful way. I just mean that in a way of there is somebody out there who has that knowledge, who has that experience, or who has the result or is in the situation that I desire to be in, that I would much rather listen. It's out of self-respect, and it's out of, honestly, respect for that person, because what if you listen to the advice of that individual and it completely fails? You would have that against them for the rest of your life. And I would rather not take that chance. So guys, starting up Mashman Ventures, I was in California. I was completely lost. I was going through a deep, dark path. not necessarily a deep, dark path, but I was in a deep, dark time because I just felt horrible about life. You know, I flew away from my family. This is a topic where I'm going to sit down and actually do kind of like a fireside chat or something, and I'll just go into detail about some of the things I was experiencing, some of the things I was thinking, and get very raw and unfiltered with you guys. That's time for another time, another day, another video, another topic. But regardless, it was a crazy time of my life, and I made it through it. You know, I made it through it with the help of some amazing people. I'm not going to lie. You know, none of my success is by myself. I've had the help of a lot of people along the way, a lot of mentors, a lot of people who believed in me when I did not believe in myself. And for those people, I'm eternally grateful for, because they have had a huge impact in my life. And some of those very people are going to be the people who I include in my book that's coming out in 2021, which is going to be a 2-part autobiography. So, you know, that's going to be exciting in of itself. You know, part 1 is going to be from the day I was born up until, you know, 2020, where I am today. And part 2, I'll release 10 years down the road after I've achieved success and after I've achieved much of what I wanted. So another little announcement in there. You know, I've been working on the early stages of designing, you know, the outline, figuring out what I'm, you know, going to be talking about, what I'm not going to be including, and also getting a list of all the different amazing people I want to have segments in there. And if I reach out to you about having a part in there, that means you played a pivotal role in my life, and thank you. But going on, back on topic so I can wrap this video up. This isn't going to be some 20-30 minute video, but Mashman Ventures is now a full-scale company that is focusing on personal branding. And what I mean by personal branding, and like the emphasis on personal branding, is my marketing phrase is, we create unrivaled personal brands for visionaries like you. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to be diving into detail on a separate video on Mashman Ventures' official YouTube page, which is coming out literally today. But my company is going to be working with people who need to grow their audience. They need to grow their brands online. You know, they want to, you know, hit these results. They want to have an audience that follows them. They want to have people who buy from them. They want to have people who are, you know, really engaging with them and following them, not necessarily for their talent or for their business, but rather for who they are. And I'm going to be sitting down and working with individuals to establish themselves. You know, up until this point, I've worked with over 30 different people. I've given coaching calls. I've done hands-on work. You know, I'm working with a couple clients right now. One client is an artist and a producer. The other one is an audio engineer based out of Nashville. I've done work for actresses. I've done work for business owners. I've done work for models. A good friend of mine, John Michael Whitney, I took him from literally not popping up at all to strategizing his brand, strategizing his name, and popping up on the first page of Google as one of the top 3 results consistently. You know, I've done all of my own branding work myself, and I went from building up my brand from not knowing what it was, not knowing what business I was building, not knowing what career I was pursuing aside from entrepreneurship. And I take up 8+ pages of Google, which I'm eternally grateful for. I've hit some success in those regards. And I'm not here to brag, but rather to say that, you know, I recognize that I had more of a passion for building brands than I did for building businesses. Now, if I'm able to build brands as my business and make it fun and also help a lot of people, then it's like a win-win situation for everybody. So what I'm doing is building up my company, Mashman Ventures, and also building up my brand, which is going to be producing content that is going to help you guys get results. Now, I'm not somebody who's worth billions or millions of dollars yet. I haven't hit the 6-figure, $100,000 mark. But what I am here to promise you is that what I'm going to be teaching you is going to be real, it's going to be genuine, it's going to be authentic, and it's going to be that no fluff, no bullshit thing. I cannot express my distaste for people who buy fake followers, for people who are going to charge $2,000 to get you in a Yahoo Finance article. That is not how I am building my brand. That is not how I'm holding myself, and I'm never going to take a picture in front of a freaking fake Lamborghini that I don't own, or take a picture of a fake watch on my wrist when I'm going into Icebox. Like, that isn't me, that isn't my nature. And guys, if I didn't have morals and ethics, I could have already been at the top because I wouldn't have had to think about anything. But I wanted to strategize and try to figure out, how can I do this in an ethical and a moral way to where I feel good at the end of the day and I know I'm giving you results. You know, although I haven't had the financial success, I've been able to build up my brand. If I wasn't able to, then that means you wouldn't even be watching this video. Because you're watching this video means I did something correct, I did something right, and I will continue doing those very things right through duplication and through just going at this with a more serious nature. And I'm just super excited for what's to come. Some of the topics, I know that what I gave was very broad, but just like I'm going to be talking about self-development topics on my podcast, I'm also going to be producing articles. I'm going to be producing specific video content in short form on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm going to be going live more. And then I'm also going to be doing more podcasts. I'm going to be doing video format for my podcasting as well. So you guys are going to be able to see me actually recording the podcast. It's not going to be live streamed just yet. I'm working on getting the equipment set up, but it is going to be to where you're able to see me and know that when I'm recording, I'm not using notes. I'm not looking at my computer screen, and you're just going to see me raw and in action. The other thing that I will include is going into a little bit of a specific nature. I will be discussing more things personal branding. I'll be a little bit more topic specific, but I'm not going to only be talking about personal branding. That's one of my biggest issues with people. They only talk about their business. They only talk about what they're doing to make money. They're only talking about their music or those type of things. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but that is not going to have a long-term success. Let's say that person changes businesses. Are the people following them specifically for their business knowledge going to continue following them? Chances not. Chances are they're going to just drop off because that person is no longer giving them value if they switch career paths or their specific industry becomes obsolete. I'm here and I'm wanting to connect with you guys on an individual level for who I am, not for just what I do. Now, for what I do, that's going to be an added bonus to following my journey. But I want to entertain you. I want to inspire you, and not just inspire in that cliche word. I hate that. I hate that fake crap. It's easy to motivate you. I can motivate you literally easy. Get on one phone call with me and I'll get you motivated to go run a mile. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I want you to get real results in life without all that guru BS fluff. There is a lot of hard work that goes into this. There's a lot of self-control, self-accountability. There's a lot of, things that most people are not willing to do. But if you are one of the people who are willing to recognize your faults and willing to actually take action on those things and improve on those things and those areas of weakness, then you're going to be one of the few who gets results. And I'm wanting to help you. There's a reason why the phrase working with visionaries like you, I don't want to work with the average Joe. I want to work with the person who has that ambition. You could be an average Joe, but I want the average Joe to have the ambition to become an above average and excelling Joe. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of an odd example to give, but I'm being very picky with the clients that I'm working with simply because I don't have all the time in the world to work with every single person. I don't. I need to work with people who are qualified, who are serious, and are going to take my words and my coaching and my consulting seriously. See, I'm going to be doing more coaching and consulting and actually verbal-based and skill-based conversation, services than I am going to be doing the work myself, simply because of what it entails. And I'm going to be going into detail on the video on Mashman Ventures channel. With that being said, guys, thank you again for tuning into my journey, for following me. If you've been following me for, like I said, my personal brand before I knew who I was or knew what I was doing, thank you especially because you're, I don't want to say you're part of the reason why I'm continuing to go, but you are part of the reason why I'm it's more important that I go ahead and I figure this out so I can help these people better. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and thank you. But expect for a bunch of different content. Go to my website, isaacmashman.com. New updates rolling out for that, and new content is going to be produced. I have Thrive with Isaac Mashman, which is two different things. Need to breathe. First and foremost, if you go to my website and click on articles, you're going to see Thrive with Isaac Mashman. That's where I'm going to be posting my blogs and the different articles that are going to be covering a variety of different topics: business, personal branding, life experiences, all those different things. You can also go, if you scroll to the very bottom, you're going to see a link to join my Facebook group. It's entirely free. It's lifetime access. Go to Facebook, you sign in, fill out the questionnaire, and go into my personal Facebook group. It's going to be for personal branding only for the foreseeable future. You can also listen to my podcast, Chase the Vision with Isaac Mashman, which is literally everywhere. Go to my website, isaacmashman.com, click on podcast, bam. And you can follow me literally everywhere, guys. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can add me on every single social media site, and I'll make sure to connect with you. send me a message. You know, I am looking to work with more people. I want to help you get results. I want you to be taken serious. I want you to be on the correct path to achieve your goals. And I want to bring you on this own journey because I have this 5-10 year vision of where I'm going. You know, this is just one means to another end. You know, I'm building up Mashman Ventures to serve for my publishing for my book. I'm building it up to serve for my booking, you know, fees and everything for when I do speaking in the future. That's something I want to do in a post-COVID world. You know, I want to be able to go travel the world and speak on stages. 2021, Lord willing, I want to speak on stage in front of 1,000 people. That would be amazing. I absolutely love speaking. Aside from that, you know, I started my company to serve as this immediate agency, you know, the media agency specifying or specializing, in personal branding, but it's also going to be public relations. It's going to be working with celebrities. It's going to be working with more people. This is a long-term game plan. So I have the money to travel. I have the money to invest into real estate. I have the money to invest in the stock market and cryptocurrency and portfolios and all these different things because we live in a world with so many opportunities. 2020 and the 21st century is filled with technological advancements that we are going to be amazed at. Just within the past 5 years, think about how much your life has changed because of technology, how much it's advanced, and the momentum is only going to be building. Are you going to be staying ahead of the curve or are you going to fall behind? You know, my most recent article was stand out or be forgotten. You know, it's like you're going to do everything in your power to get the attention for a good reason, for a reason that is not trampling on the you know, well-being of other people, or are you going to just be another person who nobody knows about? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying, you know, not being known is any greater than being known. But that also goes down to your individual goals, your individual vision for what you want out of your life. Does it line up with your goals? Does it line up with what you're trying to do? I'm not really big on your whole why like some people, but rather just does it line up with where you see yourself in a few years? Or your biggest pain point? What is your biggest pain point that you would love to solve? Guys, thank you again. Always remember to chase after your vision and be on the lookout. Make sure you go to Mashman Ventures YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button on this channel, comment below a topic or something that you want to see me discuss. You can also comment, you know, your thoughts about this video, what you're excited about, and you know, with that being said, much love.